everyone, welcome to Math Learning Hub. This is a hub for everybody who loves math. My name is Chanya, and today I'll be teaching you what FOIL is. It's a method for multiplying two-digit numbers in your head without doing scratch work, and it's hopefully faster than the actual multiplication method that's taught in schools if you practice a lot. So the first thing I'd like to highlight is what FOIL stands for. So basically, FOIL is, as you can see that I've written here, first, outer, inner, and last. That's what it stands for. But in reality, you actually worked your way up from last. So the order you do it is last, inner, outer, and first. And I have the conceptual approach up there on the screen with the text, so you can pause your video and read it if you want. However, I'm just going to jump in and show you how to do it with an example, because that's probably easier to understand. So jumping into our first problem, 32 times 83, I'm going to rewrite this acronym FOIL. And remember, you're working your way back to front. So first you would start with the L, which represents the last digits. So what you do with L is that you multiply the two last digits. So you multiply 2 and 3. They're the last digits of each of the two numbers, right? So when you multiply 2 and 3, you get 6. So I'll write 6, not too hard. Next, you move on to inner over there. So for this step, you would multiply the two inner digits. So you can sort of think of these digits as being on the inside of the multiplication. So you would multiply 2 times 8, which is 16. But the tricky thing about this is that the inner is sort of grouped with the outer. So these two are sort of grouped. So when you finish multiplying the inner, you then have to multiply the outer, which I will make this blue. So you then have to multiply the outer. So the outer digits would be 3 times 3, which is 9. And then when you're done doing those products, you have to add them. So add the product of the inner digits to the product of the outer digits. So that's 2 times 8 plus 3 times 3, or 16 plus 9, which gives you 25. Now what you write is actually 5, and you carry the 2. So until you get to doing the F, in other words, the first digits, until you get to that step, you only write one digit at a time. And when you get to F, you can write as many digits as needed. So let's just jump into doing F. So F stands for first. So you multiply the first two digits here. So this would be 3 times 8. So that's 24. So what you have to do here is you have to add the 2 that you carried from the previous step. So 24 plus 2 is 26. And remember, when you get to your F, your last step, then you can just write your number, what you get. So that's 24 plus 22 is 26. And that should be your answer. That's just basically how FOIL works. So again, working from back to front with the acronym of FOIL, you do the last digits. You write down the sum of the products of your inner and outer digits. And then you multiply your first digits and you write it in that order, accounting for any carries you may need. So next I'm going to do another problem. So this is 14 times 52. I encourage you to pause this video and try this problem on your own. Okay, so I've assumed that you've paused the video and came back. So now remembering our acronym FOIL again, FOIL. And remember, we need to work from back to front. So first thing you need to do is the last digits. You need to multiply the two last digits, right? So you need to multiply 4 and 2. So what do you get here? You get 8. So you write 8 here. There's no carries, so you don't need to account for that. So that was your L for last. Next, you do the inner and also, the inner and also the outer. So when you multiply the inner, this would be 4 times 5. When you multiply the outer, this would be 1 times 2. And you add these two products together. So 4 times 5 plus 1 times 2 is 20 plus 2 equals 22, right? So what you do here, remember you haven't got to your last step, right? You haven't got to your F step. So every step before you get to when you're multiplying your first digits, you only have to write one digit and carry the other. So in this case, the number is 22. I'm writing 2, carrying the 2. Lastly, you do your F. F stands for first, so you multiply your first two digits, which is 1 times 5, which is 5. So now you have to account for the carryover that you did in your second step. So you have to do 5 plus the 2 you carry over, which is 7. So your final answer should be 728. Moving on to two more problems, I encourage you again to pause this video and work them out on your own. Okay, I'm assuming that you have paused the video and came back now. So using these two as a guide, let us complete these two problems. So I'm going to start with 46 times 26. So first, remembering the acronym FOIL right here. The first step you need to do is to multiply two last digits, right? Remember, with FOIL, you're working from back to front. So you do your last first, then your inner and outer, and then your first, right? So multiplying those last two digits, you do 6 times 6, which gives you 36. So you write your 6, you carry the 3, because you have not gotten to the step where you multiply your first two digits yet. That's why you carry. Okay. So your second step is to do your inner and outer digits, right? So when you multiply your inner digits here, which is 6 times 2, and you add them to the product of your outer digits here, which is 4 times 6, you get, well, what's 6 times 2 plus 4 times 6? Well, that's 12 plus 24, which is 36, right? 36. But you have to remember to add the 3 you carried here. So what's 36 plus 3? Well, that's just 39. So again, you write your 9, you carry the 3 because you're not to your last step yet. Okay, and finally, it's time for you to multiply your two first digits, which are 4 times 2. So naturally, 4 times 2 is 8, but you have to account for this carry you had here, a carry of 3. So you add your number 8, and you add it to 3, and you get 11. And that's what you write. And so your final answer here should be 1,196. Moving on to this problem, 29 times 17. Remember, you start from last and you go back to first. So you multiply these last two digits, 9 times 7. You get 63. So what you do is you write the 3, you carry the 6. Now you do your inner digits, which is 9 times 1. And then the product of your outer digits, which is 2 times 7, and you add these two products together. So that's 9 times 1 plus 2 times 7 is equal to 9 plus 14, and that's equal to 23. So you keep 23 in your mind. However, you need to account for the fact that you carried over 6. So what's 23 plus 6? Well, that's just 29. 29. So you write a 9 and you carry the 2 here. And then as for your last step, you finally get to multiply the first two digits. That's the F in FOIL. So that's 2 times 1, which is 2. When you add the 2 you carried over, that's 2 plus 2, which is 4. So your final answer here should be 493. So hopefully, I'm going to scroll back up here. Hopefully these examples make sense. As you should know I have color-coded them so you can see which digits go with which like multiplication processes. And finally, I've just prepared some practice problems so that you can work on them and practice on your own. So the answer should be in the description below this video. Anyways, I thank y'all for watching this video, and if you want more, then please subscribe to Math Learning Hub. And see you in the next video, guys. Bye!